The 129 riders, the survivors of the 197 who left Holland over 3 weeks ago, rolled out of Palaiseau this morning. It's a circular route to the Champs-Elysees. For Denmark's Bjarne Riis, the pressure should be off. The battle has been won. Riis's Telecom team has another champion as well. Erik Zabel will win his first green jersey, the victor on points. France again had a part to play. Richard Virenque, for a third year, is the polka dot winner, the king of the mountains. So overall, this is how it is. Bjarne Riis is 1 minute 41 seconds ahead of teammate Jan Ullrich. Richard Virenque is third, while his teammate Laurent Dufaux is fourth. Tour favourites in Holland, Tony Rominger, Abraham Olano and Miguel Indurain, only 9th, 10th and 11th. Our Chris Boardman is 39th and set to finish the race at the third attempt. He feels so good, he might even go for the stage win today. And this is the scene on the Champs-Elysees. It's a new flag and a different language, but they're all singing the same tune. For the first time, Denmark can enjoy this day. They have the champion. And they won't be the only ones enjoying an end to this tough tour. They have raced through the rain, the wind, the snow and the heat to get to the Champs-Elysees, all 129 of them deserving their finish. 18 riders won stages in this year's Tour de France. Not all of those will finish the race, but they did enjoy a precious moment, as indeed we did with them. Let's now remind ourselves as to who they were. Alex Zülle was the first leader after the prologue in Holland. He suffered and crashed in the mountains though, and will finish disappointed. Frederic Moncassin, 2 stage wins and a yellow jersey. This has without doubt been Fred's best tour. Mario Cipollini, the flamboyant Italian, got his stage win and then gave up the race. The Olympics are now his target. Erik Zabel, a German sprinter with 2 stage wins, is set to celebrate his first green jersey in Paris this afternoon. Cyril Sogrin, a newcomer to the Tour, he was a surprise winner at the Lac de Madine, but then he abandoned a few days later. Jeroen Blijlevens, Holland sprinter, got an early win on stage 5, but in finishing his first Tour, he also blunted his rapid sprint finish. Michael Bogart, another Dutchman in the fray when he took the risks in the wet at Aix-les-Bains. He's enjoyed his tour with 1 stage win and a high finish in Paris. Luc Leblanc, he'll be remembered as the man who won in the Alps the day Miguel Indurain cracked. He would have liked to have finished higher. Evgeny Berzin, the Russian, started well with the yellow jersey and a stage win in the Alps, but the Pyrenees beat him and his tour became a disappointment. Bjarne Riis, multiple stage wins for him and the yellow jersey for the final 12 days of this tour. He really has been the best. Kepi Gonzalez, a Colombian winner on a flat stage, means we'll always remember him. It was an occasion to enjoy. Pascal Richard, the Swiss rider, is an opportunist, and 1 stage win for him plus a top half finish will leave him very contented. Rolf Sorensen, another success for Denmark. Rolf won at Superbest. He'll also be on the Champs-Elysees today. Jamoluddin Abdu-Japarov got his win in an uphill finish. One he'll treasure, and his 9th stage win in 7 tours. Massimo Podenzana, another veteran, but for him his first stage victory in any Tour de France. It came at Villeneuve-sur-Lot. Laurent Dufaux, enjoying his best tour ever. Laurent won in Spain and will enjoy his highest finish today. Bart Voskamp, rarely a winner. Voskamp chose his 3rd tour to taste victory. And yesterday, Jan Ullrich, who is set now to finish 2nd in his very first Tour de France, he put in his claim to be a future winner of this great race when he took out the time trial. So there are the stars of this year's Tour de France, and now it's on to Paris, but not before a premature drink of champagne by some of the riders with a little bit of help from the others. And you know it's going to be champagne all of the way today. But Bjarne Riis, the man in yellow, it's back to see the doctor, Gerard Port, and it looks as though Bjarne, being a Dane, has been suffering for the last few days with a little bit of sunburn. The route is 147.5 kilometres, starting on the outskirts of Paris at Palaiseau. It's a circular route back to the Champs-Elysees, and usually the race arrives together before they really turn on the style. What about the weather, Paul?
Well, Reece shouldn't have to worry too much about sunburn in the later part of the afternoon. There will be a build-up of cloud. The high only 22 degrees Celsius, a lot cooler than it has been over the last few days, and hardly a breath of wind in the air.
And there it is. The race has hardly been in an angry mood so far, but now they will feel inspired by the sight of the Eiffel Tower, Paul.
Well, that's the greatest thing for these cyclists. They've waited for 3 weeks to see that. They've been all over France. And finally, when you do see that, you know that you've made it. What an incredible place to ride into Paris. One of my favourite rides, I think. And in fact, one of the attacks come very early on before we even get to the Champs-Elysees. Somebody trying to steal the glory away from the telecom team and leap away.
Well, this looks like Richard Virenque, who's trying to launch an attack. This audacious Frenchman who wants to be first into town. Why not? It's his town. It's Paris. And the Frenchman leading now as they go across the River Seine and start down the other side of the bank, then across the Place de la Concorde, and then they'll be in to the finishing line with 8 laps to go. Richard Virenque, 3 times now the king of the mountains of this event, and each time he's hardly found a challenger.
A brave move by Richard Virenque. He knows, I'm sure, that in a very short time the main field will come back to him. All he wants to do, though, is steal the show and be the first man to get onto the Champs-Elysees. And once the riders get there, the racing really does hot up. Everybody wants to show themselves. They have so many friends at home around the world watching them on television that they try to go to the front one last time, and that really pushes up the speed to speeds exceeding 35 miles an hour.
Rode his first Tour de France in 1992. Surprised everyone when he snatched the lead. I think it was only for a day, if memory serves me correctly. Then the jersey passed over to his teammate Pascal Lino. But that was enough to prove to everybody this rider had a little bit of class.
Well, I think he made his move a little bit too early there. A violent reaction by the main pack, and everybody is back together. In fact, it's his own teammates. No, it's not. It's the MG team who pulled him all back together.
An attack now by the Paneria team. They've only got 4 riders left in the race. This looks like Oscar Commenzind, the Swiss member, followed by Christian Hen of Telecom. They're putting the policemen up there all the time to spoil the fun at the moment. They're trying to get Bjarne Riis onto that Champs-Elysees, right up near the front of the big peloton. As we course through the actual streets here of Paris this year on their different approach to the Champs-Elysees.
Attack coming again from one of the Motorola riders. This time it looks as if it's going to be Flavio Vanzella, the man wearing 69. He nearly didn't make it to the Tour de France this year. Had a terrible accident in the month of February. Had one of the muscles in his arm split right open when an unattentive motorist opened the door on him while he was out training.
And it's not far now before the riders will be straight into the finishing line for the first time. 8 laps they have to face then. 6.5 kilometres a lap. And Vanzella is spearheading the charge, and it looks as though Andre Schmil, the back of that little group, trying to get across the gap as well.
Clever rider, Schmil. He's been so close to nipping into the right move over the last couple of days in this year's Tour de France. The Lotto team from Belgium have had a very quiet season this year, and I think the order must have gone out really to try and get as many riders to Paris as possible and not worry about the racing. The leading group of 4 men here working exceptionally well, and they've got the first recorded gap of the Tour de France so far today, and that's 9 seconds.
So here they come now across the Place de la Concorde, and then it'll be on to the Champs-Elysees for the first time. You will probably not hear me commentate, because you will hear the Danish people just launch into voice here. Bjarne Riis isn't in with these 4, but he's certainly well settled in that big field. There we are, there's the finish right ahead of them now. There in the distance is the Arc de Triomphe, and the race here, Andre Schmil, Andrea Taffi, Podenzana, and the rider at the front, Flavio Vanzella. And now it is Podenzana, stage winner of Villeneuve-sur-Lot. Andrea Taffi going through. There's a sprint this time, in fact, but they're not sprinting, they're more in fact, there's a bell, so the sprint is next time. There's the cheers, and they're going to get louder now when they pick out Bjarne Riis in the main field here. The Telecom team are now trying to hold the race together. Chris Boorman over to the left of our picture, right near the front. And we've all got that sneaking feeling that Chris is going to try something on the Champs-Elysees. All the Danish flags are waving. Bjarne Riis knows now that he's come home, but he's not come home to the Tivoli in Copenhagen. He's come home to the Champs-Elysees in France.
could very well be Denmark today. The number of people that have turned out to see this champion, the first time ever that a Danish rider will win, and he really put in a fantastic performance. I never saw him before the start of this year's Tour de France as a winner. He finished 5th 2 years ago, then he finished 3rd, but this year he really did show himself as the strongest man in the event.
So there's the field in the Tour de France. They've got 4 riders to pick up yet before the sprinters will have their day. We'll take a break.
Since the Tour came to the Champs-Elysees in 1975, the yellow jersey has won the final stage only twice. Both times it was won by this man. Back in a couple of minutes. In 1979, Bernard Hinault underlined his second Tour victory by out-sprinting Joop Zoetemelk for the stage win in Paris. 3 years later, he did the same thing to another Dutchman, Adrie van der Poel, in a bunch finish for win number 4. And those are the only 2 occasions so far, at least, that the race leader on the final day has been first over the line on the Champs-Elysees.
Well, since it's likely to be a sprint finish today, I can't really see Bjarne Riis emulating Hinault and having hit peak hysteria around lunchtime. I'm not sure how much wilder these Danish fans can get. Also here from Denmark today, just as proud but a bit better behaved, is Bjarne's wife Mette. And I spoke to her a few minutes before the peloton hit the Champs-Elysees. This must be just a great day for you.
It is. It's a very, very big day. I don't know. I have so many feelings. I don't know really. I can't really believe it. So we have to wait until the last meters have been done.
How do you think you'll feel when he comes onto the Champs-Elysees in the yellow jersey?
I'm. What do you call that? I'm sweating. I'm shaking. Yes. It's very, very special.
Do you think he might go for a stage win today?
No, I don't think so. I think he'll be calm in the peloton, or how do you say that, and just enjoy the last day in his tricot jersey.
And I'm quite sure that Mette and the 2 children, Jesper and Thomas, are enjoying their day out in Paris. Well, these 4 riders are still clear and rather spoiling the party at the moment. Andre Schmiel are bringing through Podenzon, Van Zelle and Taffy. But although the lead went up to 41 seconds maximum, as we come up to the bell for the last lap of the Champs-Elysees, the whole field, Paul, about 12 seconds behind.
It's going to be very tight. 6.5 kilometers to go when they cross the lap there, and they're going to look over their shoulders and see the main field boring down upon them. The last time check we had was 15 seconds, but we should get a new one, which could be less on the finish line.
There's the bell for the last lap of the Champs-Elysees, the very last lap indeed of this year's 83rd Tour de France. The champion of Holland, Martin Den Bakker, grits his teeth and tries desperately to close down this race in the hope that Jerome Blijlevens will win the sprint. And in fact, the white jerseys of the GAN team are there as well, and Chris Boorman also in the thick of the action at the front of that bunch. They want Frédéric Moncassin to win the final stage.
There are so many teams want to bring it all back together, but these 4 men have been away from the first lap of this Champs-Elysees circuit finish, and they've now stretched it back up to 18 seconds, so they may well have cracked the main pack, but there are still 5 teams there who want to work to get their sprinters into the final corner of the Champs-Elysees in first place.
Well, this has been a terrific show of defiance by these 4 riders. Now they make the turn for the last time under the shadow of the Arc de Triomphe. Now it gets a little bit easier, but it won't for them because the pressure must stay on. The speed must shoot up to 40 miles an hour. The peloton come up the slope too. Eric Zabel in the green at the bottom of our picture there. The rider who may be robbed today of a chance at shooting at his 3rd stage win by 4 adventurers who went away as we came onto the Champs-Elysees, and they still haven't worked out yet how they're going to catch them.
Coming to the front now to peg back that down to 12 seconds is Chris Boorman in the white helmet, the white GAN jersey there. He wants his teammate and friend Frédéric Moncassin to try and get the stage victory. These men now look very much as if they've done all this effort for nothing.
Well, it's a day when you do wish that they would succeed because they deserve it. They've put on such a show of speed here. But these professional riders have a nasty habit of timing things to absolute perfection, especially the teams with sprinters on them. And the chase down is going to get quicker and quicker. There it is. If it was on the other side of the road right now, this would be the end of the Tour de France, but it isn't. It's on the wrong side. They've still got 3 kilometers to go.
Well, the sprinters can't make any faults now. They have to be in the right position as we come down to 3.5 kilometers to go on this Champs-Elysees circuit. It's 10 seconds the gap as they go by us on the far side, and it really is going to be right down to the line.
André Schmil, a winner of Paris-Roubaix. Podensona, a winner of a stage of the Tour de France and twice the champion of Italy. Flavio Vanzello in the blue, a former wearer of the yellow jersey in the Tour de France and one of the hardest working domestiques of the Mappé team, Andrea Tafi, third this year in Paris-Roubaix. They're all pedigree men. They are hanging on by the shorts, the skin of the shorts here, as they go off the back of the Place de la Concorde and down into the Rue de Tivoli. They are so close to getting home, but the field are closing in.
Well, they've about 3 kilometers to go now, and if there's a slight pause in the work being done by all these riders at the back, each one representing a separate team, representing GAN, Refin, TVM and Telecom, these 4 men may well just survive, but 10 seconds is such a slender lead at speeds like this.
Just 10 seconds, they'll turn left shortly and go underground and then back into the sunshine, and then they'll be lining up for the Concorde and the sprint. The sprinters are already beginning, I think. They're getting very twitchy and worried, even though the gap is 10 seconds, as the Gaywiz team now start to launch at the 4 men out in front. The Telecom team are tucked in nicely there too. Keep your eye on that green jersey of Zabel. There he is on the right of our screen. Behind him, the man who hopes to beat him to the line, Frédéric Moncassin. At the moment, the score is 2 to Moncassin, 2 to Zabel.
1 to Abdou Japarov, and not in the sprint. Abdou Japarov in 8th place at the moment. You see the Tashkent Terror is riding a great race. He knows how to win here. It's a very difficult sprint to judge. It's such a long way from that final corner. You've got to time it just right.
And here they come back into the sun now. The face on the left of Andrea Tafi. They're so close, but out of the tunnel comes Dario Bottaro. There's Jan Ulrich, second overall, still doing his work for the team. Now he wants the green jersey on his back wheel.
What a fantastic rider Ulrich has been, 22 years of age. He's lying in 2nd place in the overall standings. He's worked for the yellow jersey, and now he's going to the front of the Tour de France one more time, not to defend his 2nd place in the overall standings, but to try and get a teammate another victory, and he's closed the gap.
And how close that gap has come under the kilometre kite for the last time in 1996. They are saying it's 4 seconds. It's not going to be enough now, because you can't hold back a tidal wave, and that's what the Tour de France is. The sprinters are in the little bubble, about 6 men back from the front.
Tafi makes one last gasp. If he can just get round that corner, he might surprise him, but Shamil has reacted excellently. He's straight onto the wheel there. It's too late for these 4 riders. They put in a great effort, and now the whole field is back together.
The order as they approach the Champs-Elysees for the last time. Schmil with Tafi on his wheel. Vanzello now can feel the warmth of the riders around him. And in fact, there's a rider from Brasilia who's gone over the top of them all. And that rider almost certainly will be Mariano Piccoli. As they line up for the finish now, the Brasilia rider makes a dash for the line. Zabel is still lost in there. Baldato's on the far left. Schmil is in the middle. Moncassin, Blijlevens, Baldato and Zabel over to the left of our screen. Baldato leads them out. And I think Zabel is coming through on the inside. Baldato gets it. Baldato gets the stage win. Well, he was about the only sprinter left in the Tour de France this year who hasn't won. The hands in the air of Bjarne Riis, a 10-year professional, a first-time winner of the Tour de France today. An almost perfect end. Well, it was a perfect end to the Tour de France. The one sprinter missing off the list was Baldato. This was how he got his victory. Blijlevens in yellow on his shoulder, Zabel on the top of our picture, Moncassin coming through on the bottom. But Baldato never made a mistake, and there in the middle of them all in red, Jamaluddin Abdou Japarov, and he will get 3rd. Baldato on the line, Moncassin. Blijlevens, in fact, will get 3rd. Abdou 4th and Zabel 5th. And the confirmation of the last sprint of this tour, Fabio Baldato gets it ahead of Frédéric Moncassin and Jérôme Blijlevens. Zabel could only finish 5th. So the only sprinter in the race not to have won a stage, Fabio Baldato, is on the podium in Paris tonight. He gets the one they all would have loved. Britain's finisher, Chris Boardman, he came home in the field, and after he stopped, Gary Imlach caught up with him.
Well, Chris, you said yesterday we'll wait and see about the Champs-Elysees, and you were giving it a good go at the front of the chasing bunch there.
Yeah, today team priorities. I had to take precedence over personal. Fred was our best chance, obviously, so I just gave it 100% with 2 laps to go and completely spent my effort. Good thing was I felt good.
Now, you had several priorities at the start of the tour, but first things first, you've finished one.
yeah, it's a good feeling. I'm glad it's over. It's going to be weird tomorrow not getting up and stuffing your face full of food and getting on a bike for several hours. But something tells me I might enjoy it.
Now, obviously, you haven't seen the family yet. You've just come over the line. But having seen the Champs-Elysees from the other side of the fence last year, how was it to come onto it this year?
Painful. That sums it up, really, doesn't it?
Well done, Chris. Determination came through in the end, and we all wish you well now as you go to Atlanta and the Olympic Games. The overall winner of the Tour de France, Bjarne Riis, finishing a minute and 41 seconds ahead of his young German teammate Jan Ullrich. In the top 5 places, 5 different nations represented. That's the sort of tour it was. But look at the names here. Escartine, Olano, Rominger, Indurain, all hands. This time they are down the field. Chris Boorman in the end finished in 39th place. Well, there they are, the 3 major prize winners of this year's Tour de France. In yellow, Bjarne Riis. In green, Erik Zabel. In the polka dot, Richard Virenque. What a great Tour de France this really has been. One more prize winner to mention, of course, and that's our competition winner. Congratulations, Barbara Paxton from Leeds. You picked Fabio Baldato to win the last stage here on the Champs-Elysees. Well, that concludes our coverage here, which has gone on for more than 3 weeks on Channel 4. I hope you've enjoyed it. For Gary Imlach, for Paul Sherwin, for the rest of a very hard-working team in France, from Paris, goodbye.